We did Nintendo. Let's move on to PlayStation. I want to look at what are some of the pricier things in my collection that maybe I'm not aware of. Let's check it out. First up, PS1, and I'm gonna skip over my signed copy of Metal Gear Solid and skip over some RPGs like all the Digimon games, all the Final Fantasy games, because the most expensive game that I own, surprisingly, is Silent Hill. And Silent Hill is roughly $150 right now, which is crazy because it's one of the most popular games for the system, right? I mean, it's the first one. It goes right along with all the Resident Evils as far as survival horrors. Yeah, just a really awesome game that I'm lucky to have in my collection. Now, admittedly, my PlayStation 2 collection is a little lackluster. There's not all that much compared to my PS1 collection. And I was looking through it thinking that the most expensive game I would own was gonna be Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But it's since gone down in price. I'm guessing it's because of the recently announced Capcom Fighting Collection. So upon further research, I found out that Metal Gear 3, the Subsistence version, this limited edition version, is actually the most expensive game I own. Just over $120. So yeah, really cool to have it. I love that game. That's probably my favorite game for the system. Now, the PSP holds a special place in my heart. It was the first system I bought with my own money. And yeah, I spent my salary buying that system. And looking through my collection, I noticed that I have a couple of sealed games, which is pretty cool. The Third Birthday, that's a Parasite Eve sequel, and the original Assassin's Creed, kind of I call it the DLC, because it feels very much as like the original, but it is Bloodlines. But looking through my collection and looking at the prices, I noticed that the most expensive game that I own is actually none of those. It's this copy over here of Crimson Gem Saga. And this is a little bit of a hidden gem. It's an RPG by Atlus. I'm thinking about doing a separate video about this game because it's really, really good. Let me know what you guys think. And thus we arrive at the PS3 section of my shelves. Really, really good games here. Some classics from this era. And I do have a lot of special editions from these games. As you can see, some here, like Resident Evil, Dead Space, even Duke Nukem. But the most expensive one from this era is actually not here. We're gonna skim down here and take a look. All the way down here. Yeah, baby, we got Metal Gear Rising, or Revengeance, or both, I guess. This is the special edition that came with a lava lamp, and it's just one of the coolest things here. I have a lot of love for the PlayStation 4 era of games, and it's probably one of the systems I have the most games for. Some are still sealed, some I haven't even been able to play yet, just because of the amount of games I own. A lot of these are in my backlog. And yeah, there's some special editions as well for the system. But the most expensive game I own is actually not on any of these shelves. We actually have to move all the way over here, around my TV, and get to the Resident Evil section of the collection, because the most expensive one is the Resident Evil 3 Collector's Edition. Now this version is over $300 now, and it's complete. I remember I had to drive out to find it in a GameStop like an hour away, but it was well worth it because it fits nicely in my collection, especially among its peers, all these collector's editions. I almost skipped over the PS Vita earlier, but I definitely want to make a stop here because some of these games are unique to the system and have not been released elsewhere. Although some have over the years. I have a lot of love for this system, just for being the sequel of the PSP, and it's a great system, definitely underrated. And looking at pricing on some of these games, they're getting expensive to find. I'm lucky to have started this collection a while ago, because one of the most expensive games I have is Unmetal. You can see it still has the sticker there that I haven't even used. But this game is a love letter to any Metal Gear fan. I definitely encourage you to play it. I think it's been re-released on PS4. You should definitely check it out. It's really, really good and really, really funny. And that's the most expensive game I have for it. Now, my PS5 collection is slowly growing. I try not to go overboard and just buy a bunch of stuff that I may or may not play. I'm trying to get the games that I definitely want to play. And these are some of them. I don't have all that many just because I'm trying to pace myself. But one of the ones that I definitely have, and it's the most expensive one I have, is the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Edition. Now this is the version that came with something special I'll show you here in a bit. But it is the most expensive game that I own. Granted, I don't own that much for this system. You can see here, hope I can get it all in one shot, but this edition of the game came with Sephiroth, this really cool statue that I have displayed in my collection in my game room. Really excited to have it. So there you have it, guys. Those are some of the most expensive games I own. Definitely the most expensive games I own for these PlayStation systems. PlayStation is really what I grew up on and really the meat and potatoes of my collection. So I'm happy to keep collecting for it, keep getting some of the best games, and yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you stay subscribed, and I will catch you on the next one.